do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
Welcome back to CelebReel. Let's get into this, because this one feels different. They say the bigger the star, the harder the fall. And right now, that phrase is hovering over Beyoncé in a major way. This isn't just another messy headline or internet gossip cycle. What's unfolding is being framed as something far more serious behind the scenes. According to claims circulating right now, Beyoncé could be facing the possibility of a federal-level investigation. And the person making noise isn't a random blogger or clout chaser. It's Jason Lee, a podcast host with a direct connection to her husband, who says he's sitting on recordings that could cause real legal trouble.
Calling me now. And that's the problem that I have with this whole situation. But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching because you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know you got people calling me. Call me yourself, because this right here is going to go viral. The way my job works on the internet, everybody's going to be clipping and sharing on TikTok.
What makes this explosive is the confidence. He's daring her team to respond, acting untouchable, and publicly suggesting he can't be intimidated. That's not how people move when they're bluffing. Even more telling, reports say Beyoncé's legal team may already be reaching out behind the scenes, trying to shut this down before anything drops.
Of the fact that we work in an industry where we get to meet people that we actually are fans of. We don't become people who don't have special celebrities to them because we work in entertainment. Like,
we love certain people too.
We love certain people, and Beyonce is definitely probably the one and only at that level for me.
And that raises a serious question. If nothing has been released yet, why the urgency? That doesn't look like calm control. That looks like panic. Lee has made it clear he's not backing down. On his podcast, Jason Lee directly called out Jay-Z by name, saying, "Stop having people call me. Call me yourself."
It was pretty much said like, Jay doesn't really want awards. Well, he go to the Grammys.
Right.
He come into the Black-owned spaces. Let's figure out how to work together so that way we have the relationship when it matters, not when it's convenient for you and your image. Because they all call us when
That alone turned the heat all the way up. Then it got darker. Lee warned that if he were to go missing, the calls he's been receiving would point back to certain people. That's not casual talk. That's someone claiming real leverage. Meanwhile, Beyoncé has stayed completely silent. No denials, no statements, no lawsuits. In a moment like this, silence doesn't read as confidence. It reads as tension. Lee isn't just teasing audio. He's suggesting recordings that could end careers and lead to prison.
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to
And the timing couldn't be worse. Sean Combs is already behind bars, new documentaries are reopening scrutiny, and 50 Cent is openly calling out Jay-Z's alleged connections. This no longer looks like silencing one voice. It looks like a scramble for time. And with more people speaking up, the image Beyoncé and Jay-Z spent decades building is starting to crack in public.
That major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious.
Back in 2016, Lemonade changed everything. Jay-Z's infidelity went public, the elevator moment with Solange exploded, and rumors about ties to Sean Combs' private gatherings never fully died. But this moment isn't about cheating or image repair. It's about potential legal exposure, and it's coming from more than one direction. Earlier this year, a lawsuit alleged that Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé were present at a 2015 event involving alleged abuse. Their lawyers later proved they weren't there and the names were removed, but the trust damage lingered, The question remained, if not there, then where? And what else hasn't been explained? Then September 2024 hit. Diddy was arrested on federal charges tied to trafficking and racketeering, with a trial set for May 2025. At the same time, Jay-Z was named in a separate lawsuit over a 2000 allegation involving a minor, claims he denies, calling it blackmail and vowing to fight in court.
Blistering statement. Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away."
The timing is impossible to ignore. With federal scrutiny intensifying and the public watching, the spotlight snaps back to Jason Lee. He isn't a random blogger. He has real industry ties, a massive platform, and now claims leverage that could shake the most powerful couple in music. His claims have escalated beyond party rumors. He's now suggesting Beyoncé wasn't just nearby or unaware, but actively involved, an allegation that, if it carries any weight, shifts this from PR damage to potential legal exposure.
Diddy and Jay, inseparable at the part. They just probably best friends. They probably both grew up in New York. They're New Yorkers. I don't know their relationship. I don't know what business they got going on, but they are really close with one another.
That's where the stakes spike. We're talking possible RICO-level implications, alleged links to convicted operations, and a husband already under pressure. Jay-Z has denied the 2000 lawsuit against him, calling it extortion, yet the opposing legal team isn't backing off. With federal scrutiny deepening into Sean Combs' empire and documentaries amplifying alleged misconduct, the question isn't if more names surface, it's when. Add to that Jason Lee claiming leverage, and this becomes about survival, not silencing noise. The pattern points to a long-running, closed-door culture, with the Carters positioned at its center, not the sidelines. When 50 Cent's Diddy documentary dropped in December 2024, it reignited scrutiny, and history ties Jay-Z and Diddy back to the 1990s through club chaos, legal trouble, and major business moves. The storm is forming, and the industry feels it. They built empires side by side, photographed together, praised together, treated as untouchable. Now both names are appearing in lawsuits alleging serious wrongdoing. Jay-Z's legal team has fired back, calling the claims heinous and labeling them blackmail. But blackmail only works when there's something someone doesn't want exposed. And Sean Combs' collapse proved secrets surface no matter the money.
And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
Meanwhile, Beyoncé is moving forward, headlining the Super Bowl halftime show in 2026, planning a global tour, still treated as royalty. Yet, if recordings exist and federal eyes are watching, empires don't crack, they collapse. That's why Jason Lee's claims rattle people. He isn't threatening embarrassment, he's threatening to flip a legacy. And if calls are coming from both Beyoncé's camp and Jay-Z's side, that signals fear, not confidence. Jay-Z isn't known for panic. That alone says a lot. If fear is showing now, the stakes are clearly higher than anyone is admitting. Insiders say Beyoncé's legal team is working nonstop. But there's a problem. You can't sue a podcast host for what he plans to release. You can't stop federal investigators, and you can't erase a past that may already be recorded.
That's what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it on their own?
Detain it.
One thing is clear. Jason Lee isn't finished, and others who stayed silent for years aren't either. The question isn't if more comes out, it's how. Quiet leak or public explosion. What's raising eyebrows is what happened next. While pressure was allegedly put on Lee, another media figure suddenly shifted course. Piers Morgan edited an interview after legal pressure, removing claims made by Jaguar Wright. That doesn't happen unless someone feels exposed. Ask yourself this. Why intervene at all unless the claims hit too close to home? This no longer looks like silencing one voice. It looks like trying to erase the record. And when history starts getting rewritten, it usually means the truth is dangerous enough that someone is afraid of what happens if it stays visible.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me.
Let's tighten the timeline, because it matters. In October 2024, a Jane Doe filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Combs and an unnamed male celebrity of assault at a 2000 house party when she was 13. 2 months later, the suit was amended to name Jay-Z, instantly pulling Beyoncé into the conversation since she was his girlfriend at the time. Court filings also mentioned an unnamed female celebrity allegedly present. Beyoncé was never accused, but her team moved quickly and provided proof she wasn't at that specific party, leading to her name being removed. That only raised more questions. Removed from which room, and why the urgency unless the stakes were higher? Then there's the Star Island property tied to another 2015 lawsuit, owned by the Gloria Estefan family, long rumored as a frequent gathering spot for the Carters in the mid-2010s. A plaintiff claimed he was taken there, given a disorienting drink, and humiliated in front of high-profile guests. Beyoncé and Jay-Z were initially listed as witnesses again, then removed after alibis were submitted, placing them near the center of yet another controversy without formal accusations. But this is the part people can't ignore. If even part of the account circulating is accurate, it suggests Beyoncé may have been present at gatherings where men were allegedly drugged, humiliated, and treated as entertainment. And that completely changes the picture. That's why Jason Lee's claims about recordings matter so much. If footage from those events exists, what's actually on it? This stops being about bad judgment and starts looking like a pattern, a system. Beyoncé wouldn't be a random guest in that world. She'd be positioned near the top of it. Now connect the dots. Sean Combs' collapse has already exposed a network of alleged enablers. Jay-Z is now tied to lawsuits, and 50 Cent has openly questioned his silence, reposting old photos and asking, "You still there?" With Diddy in custody and private events laid bare, the question isn't if more names surface, it's who's next. If Jay-Z was present, and Beyoncé was too, this moves from scandal to coordination. These stories don't stay buried forever. They unravel piece by piece. And Jason Lee has made it clear he's not backing down. He's waiting, and he's made it clear he's not backing down. Jason Lee says he has something real, and pressure won't erase the past. If recordings exist, nothing can stop what comes next. Powerful figures like Sean Combs never fall alone. And if Beyoncé is tied to this in any way, on tape or through testimony, she wouldn't be collateral damage. She'd be part of the collapse. Her team knows it. Her husband knows it. And if Lee is telling the truth, the public may soon know it too. What many are missing is the money. Beyoncé's 2025 tour is projected to bring in nearly $500 million. Her empire, Parkwood Entertainment, Ivy Park, and her catalog generates nonstop revenue. One lawsuit that sticks, one leaked recording, one indictment could put all of it at risk. Sponsors don't wait. Investors don't hesitate. In billion-dollar spaces, risk isn't emotional, it's instant. At that level, it's purely financial. Scandal isn't a PR headache, it's an existential threat. Beyoncé's brand is built on control, empowerment, and being untouchable. That isn't just image making, it's the business model. When brands and networks pull away, it's not about morals, it's about risk, liability, and money. Once her name is seriously tied to criminal allegations, the damage doesn't stop at headlines. It spreads through contracts, partnerships, and long-term valuation. Brands don't wait for clarity, they move fast. From streaming platforms to fashion and tech, the reassessment happens instantly. And when it starts, the dominoes don't fall slowly. They crash all at once. That's why the pressure isn't just about silencing critics. It's about protecting the machine. Because when that machine slows, the empire doesn't wobble. it collapses. And it doesn't stop with her. Jay-Z's legal issues are a ticking clock tied directly to their shared wealth. Tidal is already struggling to keep pace with Spotify and Apple Music. Rock Nation depends on prestige, not controversy. In billion-dollar spaces, perception isn't optional, it's everything. If Jay-Z's name sinks deeper into controversy, those businesses don't just take a hit, they become radioactive. Once a partner's legal trouble starts bleeding into the bottom line, the stakes stop being personal and turn purely financial. That's why Beyoncé's team isn't just protecting her image, they're trying to keep the entire empire from collapsing with him. Industry sources say her camp has quietly slowed major moves, album releases, tour expansions, and new brand deals, while waiting to see how Jay-Z's case plays out. Officially, it's framed as creative timing, but that explanation feels thin. This looks like a holding pattern. Because if another lawsuit drops, if her ties to Diddy's circle become impossible to ignore, or if Jason Lee ever releases those recordings, everything freezes. In music, momentum is everything. Pause too long and the moment dies. Tours lose impact, albums get swallowed by controversy, and brands move on to safer names. That isn't paranoia, it's survival. And then there's the catalog. Beyoncé's back catalog is one of the most valuable assets in music, used as leverage, collateral, and long-term security. But if her name turns toxic, those assets don't just lose value, they become liabilities overnight. We've seen this play out before with R. Kelly. After his conviction, streaming platforms didn't just lower promotion, they erased him from playlists, algorithms, and cultural relevance almost overnight. If the wrong allegations stick here, Beyoncé could face a similar industry freeze. And unlike most artists, she isn't just protecting a career. She's protecting a joint fortune, a family, and a legacy designed to last generations. That kind of pressure isn't just emotional, it's financial warfare. So the real question is this: what does Beyoncé know that the public doesn't? Because right now, her team isn't just hiring lawyers. They're delaying releases, stalling announcements, and allegedly leaning on media figures. That doesn't look like confidence. It looks like preparation. This doesn't feel like something they expect to blow over. It feels like bracing for impact. Ask yourself how bad it has to be to pause a global tour, shelve an album, and let hundreds of millions in potential revenue sit untouched, while lawyers and executives wait. That's not caution. That's fear. And fear like that usually comes from knowing something others don't. Maybe it's the alleged recordings. Maybe it's lawsuits still unfolding behind closed doors. Maybe it's quiet boardroom conversations where sponsors are already drafting exit strategies. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. This isn't just a PR fight. It's a defensive move against potential financial fallout. And if the people closest to the situation are this shaken, it raises one unavoidable question for everyone watching. What's actually on those tapes? Because if lawyers are this aggressive about silencing noise, this doesn't feel like gossip. It feels like fear of evidence. And evidence doesn't disappear quietly. It gets played. It gets leaked. It gets used. If that happens, this won't be about losing headlines or status. It'll be about an empire at risk. Now it's your turn. Do you think Jason Lee really has the recordings? Or is this just another high-stakes PR battle spiraling out of control? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, subscribe to CelebReel, share this with someone who needs to see it, and stay locked in. This story isn't over.